This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So I got a question from a subscriber related to relative strength. So I'm going to go through a lot of the details of relative strength, and I'm going to use the software of TradingView. I haven't done that in a while, so I try and skip around looking at all the different programs out there, all the different platforms. So I want to make sure I cover that one as well. And then I also want to mention that if you have any questions about my approach, send them along, and especially if I can do a video on them. I like getting these type of questions where I can basically just go through and act like I'm talking to someone one-on-one, and I think everyone gathers a lot of information from that. All right. Now, if you want to learn more about some of these techniques, I would suggest buying the book. If you click the link in the description, you can find out more about it. Now, trying to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark. So if you enjoy this content, please hit that like button and also subscribe. Okay, I'm going to start out with the grid of Rio Tinto and ADR. It just displays the relative strength exactly the way I'm looking for it. So I want to make sure I cover a real good example. And I'm going to give you a few others that will give us a good feel for how we can use this indicator. All right. Now, I want to make sure I mention I'm using this grid. I've got the monthly chart in the bottom left, a weekly in the bottom right, a daily in the upper right, and all of those are the same. They have 1840. They've got MACD, standard MACD using 12.26.9, and then I've got the 13.8 version of the ADX in all three of these time frames. All right. Now, what I want to do, though, is I'm going to focus on this upper left-hand chart. It has the comparative relative strength. So I want to make sure you know what the indicator is. It's CRS is the, let me just go into settings. So you're looking for, it actually doesn't say. So if you go into the indicators and you type in CRS, you'll see comparative relative strength. If you go into the explanation, down here, it's comparative relative strength indicator, CRS. All right, so that's how you find it, it's different for every program. So let me just show you. If I go into stock charts, I've got price relative. All right, and so that's going to bring up the exact same indicator. It's a ratio. So in this case, I've got Tesla divided by the SPX, okay? And that's essentially what's taking place here. So when I look at Rio, it is Rio divided by the S&P. What that's doing is essentially it's taking the S&P and sort of taking the price action and pulling both ends, as far as they can until you have a flat line. All right. And then whatever's happening above and below that line is the comparative relative strength line. That's what the stock is doing based on its own merit, is as if the S&P closed even every single day. All right, so that's what this indicator is telling us. Now, I like to use this indicator in multiple ways. Usually I focus on the weekly chart. I think that gives the best feel. The daily is a little quick. I mean, you can do it on the daily if you're looking to swing trade. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the monthly is too slow. You use the weekly chart and it give you a real good feel for major changes in trend or confirmation of that. Now, what we're trying to do whenever we look at a stock is we're looking for a trend shift in price. All right, first and foremost, price. And we like to see the price structure improve. All right, and then we want to see momentum confirming that. All right. And then thirdly, we want to see the relative strength confirm as well. Now, what I do in my work is I like to anticipate using my indicators to anticipate that there's going to be a shift in the relative strength. However, there are times in the market when we want to focus on relative strength. It's going to give us an early warning sign. And a lot of that can be when we're either in a rotational environment where we've had a certain amount of leaders, like let's say the Mag 7 stocks have been leaders, right? And now all these other stocks that really have been underperforming, which is enormous, the number of stocks that have been underperforming. could start to see signs of a shift. So that's when we want to start looking at relative strength. The other way we want to use it is when we're in a bearish market environment or a corrective market environment, either one where we're going through a real strong down phase. We want to see what's holding up, and the relative strength line can be a massive help for that. All right. And third way I use the relative strength is intraday. If I'm trading intraday, I'm gonna look at stocks that are holding up on a relative basis versus the market, or showing strength relative to the market, showing some power, even if it's just for that day. All right. And then I'm gonna look to play weakness in those for another leg to the upside. So those are three things that you can keep in mind. But let's start going into the nitty gritty. And what I'm gonna do is just expand this chart, and we're gonna look at the Rio. Now, again, we're looking for three things. We're looking for trend, we're looking for momentum, and we're looking for relative strength. So one of the things we want to do when we're thinking that way is, draw our trend line. So I can draw a trend line here on price and see that we had multiple occasions where we came up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times we hit this line and then broke it. If we do this on a relative basis, we've got something similar going on. We hit that line once, came close here, here, and then we finally broke through right about the same time that price is doing it. This is great confirmation of a trend line break when the relative strength has either already broken its trend line, and when that will happen, I'll show you an example of that, or it's breaking at the same time. All right. So if we can get that kind of confluence with these two, both the trend and the relative trend, that is nice confirmation. And then we want to see some strength out of the momentum. Usually I will use the ADX and the MACD for this, but we can look at the RSI and see, we're well above the 50 mark here, and it's actually worked its way up into overbought camp right now. So what we're trying to find now would be some form of a pullback at this point, because it just kept pushing and pushing. Got this one little higher pivot low that took place here. But still, I think I think it's just important to realize what we're looking for. Right. So one of the things that I have done in the past is I've shown. Let me pop this up. So here's the relative strength just by itself. Now, one of the things you can do is, if you want, you can add an 8-period MA to the trend. So I've got a 30-period moving average overlaid onto the price chart. That is the most important. All right. That is going to tell us when we're getting a shift. It's pretty meaningful. We've gotten a lot of little pops in the relative strength line, but there have been very few that have gotten this line to move to the upside. And now I know that even if this pulls back, and it could pull back strongly, this line's going to keep rising because there's a lot of open air here. This had a move above and it started to curl up, but it hasn't. And you see the distance between the relative strength line and its moving average there versus here, not as significant here. So we know when we get these big pops like this, it's going to turn the moving average to the upside. Now, this ended up being kind of a false signal here, and that's okay. You're going to get those from time to time. There is no perfect indicator, but when we see this happen after a long period, at least a year, and in this case, it was a 2-year period of declining, that is where it can become really, really helpful. All right. So we want to be on the lookout for that. Now, again, you can use the 8, but what I actually like to do, this is what I was going to show, is draw in the trend line, right? And we can actually, if I did this way, this can show you another way to use this indicator. And that is, I've drawn in the perfect trend line, because this was the, this is the anchor point for the trend line, right? Low here, and then we broke that, and then we came down and tested it, just undercut it a little bit, and then turned to the upside. So I can kind of look at this, and I'm going to get my 3 trend line here, horizontal. All right, so God, I'm not used to using this program. All right, so we break the trend line, we test, and then 3 is the reversal. So we formed a 1, 2, 3 reversal on the indicator. All right, not just on the price pattern, but on the indicator. All right, we did the same thing with price. If I draw my last trend line, we broke the trend line, came back and tested, and then confirmed it back to the upside. And that actually happened just slightly before, but we got good confirmation with another higher low and another higher high. So the price actually had full confirmation as the relative strength was shifting its trend. It might have lagged a little bit here, but it was still good enough confirmation, especially when we used that bigger trend line that I showed, where the relative strength was kind of kicking into gear. So these are the types of things you want to be doing, is drawing trend lines on the indicator. And sometimes it's just breaking a downtrend line that's really important and coinciding with the price pattern. And sometimes it's a 1, 2, 3 reversal, which gives us a lot of confirmation, right? Now, let me just give you another example. If we look at something like BWA, so this one, if we draw in and we look at the way this played out relative to its 30, we got turned around here and started to show signs of real improvement in the middle of the year, middle of this year. Right? If we look at it from a price standpoint, it was still a little bit early. I can draw in my trend line here, and it was, I guess, right around the same time, but it was not as convincing because you had a declining 18-month and just running into some resistance there. It would have been a tough call there, but you're improving your odds when you have the relative strength playing along with it. And then we didn't get an RSI buy signal till later, but I like to have both the relative strength and the price confirming the move prior to getting any kind of a buy signal or entry signal in the momentum. That's good confirmation when you're looking for rotation, okay? And then here's a third example. This was actually a breakout play, and now we're getting the relative strength to confirm. So I still want to see this. I know it's lagging. It's not giving us an early warning sign. But when I break out in price, I want to make sure that I'm getting confirmation on a relative basis. If I'm not getting that confirmation, then I basically know that it's being pulled up by the market. All right, it's not actually breaking out on its own merit. It's breaking out because the market is pulling it up. All right, so we want to recognize that and keep an eye out for that. This is one example where the momentum kicked in and we got an RSI buy signal prior to the relative strength kicking in. And that's actually ideal for my ideology, my approach, right? I'm looking for price and momentum, and then in many cases, I'll get the confirmation in relative strength after the fact. All right, so we want to just kind of use all of these things. Now I'm going to show you one more example, and that is on a intraday basis. I've got NVIDIA here with the 5-minute chart. All right, I'm going to expand this and just show you that we get this breakout, really nice breakout to start the day on a relative basis. Big gap up, and it's doing it relative to the market. It's outperforming, and it stayed outperforming actually for a couple of days. But we can play this pullback here, or play the next pullback here as long as the relative strength is showing this kind of leadership, even on an intraday basis. This is a really good strategy. What I'll do oftentimes is actually pull up the top performers in the S&P for the day. And then I don't necessarily look at the top 10. It's after that top 10. The top 10 have these big gap ups in most cases. So I don't necessarily want to play the massive gap ups. I'd like to play the ones that are showing real strength. So this had a gap up and follow through. I like that. And it got above all this resistance from back here and then pulled back to that resistance in a pretty attractive fashion. So we want to be on the lookout for those to play for intraday swings. All right, it can be very, very useful. But for the most part, I think we're on the lookout for the pattern where we've been underperforming for 2 to 3 years, and all of a sudden this relative strength starts to kick in. If you had an 8-period MA on here, it would have been below this whole period, and then it turned up right in the middle of 2025. All right, so a good confirmation tool if you want, or you can just draw trend lines on the price action on the relative strength line. All right, let me know if you have any questions. See you next time. Or you can click the link in the description to find out more about some of these techniques. Have a great trading day.